those prospects that hang up on you, they may have been, the best quality prospects for us, and we just never knew that. What's the answer to a question, are your properties residential, commercial, or a mix of both? Right, when asked properly. A, residential, B, commercial, C, mix of both, D, I don't rent properties. If we get anything else that sounds like confusion, that sounds like something, people are just really getting defensive, the problem with the tonality. Yeah, so far, like right now, what I see the bottleneck is like the first part of the intro calls is like bottlenecks in order for us to understand the lead quality, we need to have those conversations with the people. And here, so the way I approach it generally, first off, I don't really focus on YouTube ads or a guide or whatever. This is really just something that you say to make people, to give them a reason for why you're calling. Like if they don't remember that, I mean, most times it's like it doesn't even matter, right? So like this is like the first thing that's really small. And then the thing with the opening question, tonality, like the speed, and just generally giving them time to process what's going on is really huge, because those prospects that hang up on you, they may have been, the best quality prospects for us, and we just never knew that, which is fine. Again, we can make just a few adjustments here and like get better feedback from the people. But right now, again, the main thing for us is to role play and train this opening line. Two big things, being slow and being like confident in it, because like I said, the first part with YouTube doesn't matter if they don't remember, they don't have to remember it. And then the second, the question, start with the question, it should be really slow and curious to let them speak. It's not, are you interested? It's more so, are your properties long-term rental, short-term rental, or maybe a vacation type? Like sometimes I even repeat this, or something just really, really light and like non-pushing. To be clear, we don't have a problem with, who we talk to just yet. Right now, we have a problem with getting the answer to the question. I found that when you lead them through the conversation, it's easier for you to like take the frame, because you ask them about the property, then you are at power to ask the location, the address, how many of them they own, etc., etc. It just builds more trust because it's about them. It's just a slightly different process. And again, you will be able to get answers from those people easily, because I'm getting them, like a lot of people who are doing those exact scripts are getting them. So it's really just a matter of tweaking. And it's okay that like your exact script that you've been using in like a different process is not, fully applicable here, even though the fundamentals are the same. So sometimes people do not remember inputting any like guides or like submissions or anything like that, which is also okay. Like in this case, I just repeat that pretty much that, yeah, I see that a while ago you requested like a guide from like the ad on YouTube. It was regarding uh, property management, and then you can use a piece of the script like, was it that you were trying to learn more about property management process, or were you maybe looking for ways to improve certain aspects of managing yours? You can play around with that. It's really about just getting them to talk. And again, it's not difficult or anything. It's literally just like a couple of more, word tracks for that matter from what they say. Because yeah, it's a different thing from the website. These are not, people who are submitting things on your website, they're requesting a guide regarding exactly like property management process. You need to slow down, definitely. Like, and with the tonality in the first question, it's very, very important to keep it really light and, make a pause, make it sound very curious, rather than, just straightforward. Are you looking, geez, what was that question? Are your properties residential, commercial, or mixed, right? Because when you get a no like this, when someone just hangs up on the phone, you don't even like, for example, what do you know about Fred right now after this conversation? So the way I go about this is, let's ring ring.
Hello.
Hey, Rhonda.
Yes.
Hey, Rhonda. This is Alex from Rosenbaum Realty Group. Yeah, I was just giving you a call here in response to your request for our property management guide from YouTube. Are your properties like long-term rental, short-term rental, or maybe a vacation type? Right. So first part, where we're from, why we're given the call, going into the question. With this tonality, people are going to be answering. If they are not, let's say, a landlord, right? It's not like the person for us. They're going to say that, right? Because when people react, when the reaction of people is confusion, when they are getting defensive, when they don't understand what's going on, is the problem with the tonality. Or the question completely doesn't make sense, which, I mean, in this case, it makes perfect sense because it's irrelevant. Like that's exactly where because this is the most important part, and we want to make it super distinguished and like understandable and slow and curious and light for the people. That's where you don't go, are your properties residential, commercial, or mixed? You go, are your properties residential, commercial, or like a mix? And you want to make it like a price on the end. You want to again be as non-pushy as possible because for people like from this point they need to actually agree to converse with you. And just from my experience, from the experience of Kevin and Exodus guys also, because we talked about that, it's just resistance from the people. Like my conversations, their conversations, they go differently. That's why I wanted to talk. Because Fred, sure, by all means, he may not be like the lead at all, which is totally fine, right? But what we can do is we can try and improve the opening so that people feel more comfortable actually answering the questions. They don't get defensive. Because it's all about the percentages. And if you say things in this way, X% of the people are going to react okay. If you say this in different way, it may be more, it may be less. That's why with these type of leads, because I do that for my own company all the time, because I send the email to the person, they respond to it, and when I call them, I'm like, do you remember that by chance? Right? But with these leads, most times they're not going to remember that. It's just, I mean, that's just how it happens unless you call them, within like the first few minutes. And it's totally fine. That's why I don't do that like that often. I have done that and it's worked. So if that's more comfortable, we can try that. Just asking if
What do
they
you mean?
remember. So,
Oh,
hey, this is
remember?
so and so from XYZ company. I was just giving you a call in response to your request for our property management guide from YouTube. Do you remember that by chance? Right? See what happens. Some people will say yes, some people will say no. But so generally, again, it's up to the style. Just what I found that asking, giving people like too much space at that of an early stage is not always good because you have so little control here. So that's why the first question should be about the information that you need to get, right? We want to get like the answers to understand, is it a landlord, is it an investor, how many properties they have, where are they located, what's their, whether or not they already have tenants or maybe they have vacancies, things like that. Like these are all very certain, very clear property management related things that we want to find out. Really, it's the matter of starting the conversation like smoothly so that people don't get confused, defensive, or anything, but they actually answer the question. Because what, what's the answer to a question, are your properties residential, commercial, or a mix of both? Right, when asked properly. A, residential, B, commercial, C, mix of both, D, I don't rent properties. If we get anything else that sounds like confusion, that sounds like something, people are just really getting defensive, the problem with the tonality, how we ask the question, how quickly we go. Maybe it was a bad time on their end. We can't control everything, but we can control those things that we say. That's what I mean. And it's really big in like the whole, calling game, like with the leads. Good. So here's the thing. The inquiries, so the leads from the ads like this, they're just different. Like they should
How
be
so?
treated differently. This is the thing
Oh,
because people are, so here we have people who are inquiring to learn more and improve their property management process. AG, they might need your services. Like that's the angle here. It's not necessarily Rosenbaum Realty Group. They may be looking at other companies as well. Because of that, we're not saying that, like how'd you hear about us, right? Because it's not even our website, it's like an ad on YouTube and stuff like it. They just should be treated differently. That's why the script is slightly different, even though like a lot of things, again, they're very similar, and we want to make it like as familiar to you guys as possible. But bottom line is they should be treated differently. That's why a lot of those things, they're not really applicable. Asking if they have a moment, by all means. Again, like preference of the style. When I go, I do ask that if I think it might be a bad time, but like most times, they're gonna tell me if it's a bad time, right? Yes, again, as long as I'm friendly and non-pushy, they feel comfortable enough just saying this. Oh, hey, just call me back, right? We can add that. Like, do you have a moment to speak? Again, see how it works, right? It's a different approach, right? And again, it works well because like they inquire more information, you reach out to them with more information basically, and then set an appointment if they're, qualified and relevant and everything. Like that's it, right? So you see, I mean, pretty much you get to the actual point. Okay, this is not a lead. The fact that they didn't remember the guide don't matter. Like you want to actually understand what's going on. So if it's not an owner, okay, like I mean it's not an owner, that's not what we're shooting for, right? If a person is an owner, you have three layers. First is the first usual opener. Okay, don't remember. Okay, cool. So I see that a while ago this happened. Was it that you were trying to learn more, or like you're trying to achieve something here? They might answer that. Maybe they're gonna keep, pushing the no, like I wasn't trying anything. Cool. I mean, at this stage, usually someone would tell you like something, like everyone is not, just pushing for no. But again, if someone is not a property owner, then we're not going to get anything there, and we're not supposed to. We're just supposed to say, okay, no worries, right? But then when you actually, okay, so like you don't remember that, cool, but like you own properties right now, you have, vacancies, or maybe they're already occupied or something. And then from there you can again start the conversation that what are you trying to achieve here? Right? And it may not be even related to the guide at all. Like it's just a separate conversation it's a sales conversation where you sell the meeting to them. Hey Sheena, this is Alex from Rosenbaum Realty Group. Yeah, I was just giving you a call in response to your request for our property management guide from YouTube. Are your properties long-term rental, a short-term rental, or maybe a vacation type? So to explain, hi Sheena, question, okay. Hey Sheena, this is Alex from XYZ. Yeah, I was just giving you a call in response to your request for blah blah blah. So you want to be very, yeah, like it was just giving you a call here, not like, oh, you requested, I'm calling you back. You requested the call. Like I mean, no need for that, right? At the question, you want to pause. You want to make it very like, are your properties, boom, they're already in the mindset of like, okay, properties what? A long-term rental, a short-term rental, or maybe a vacation type. That's what you want to develop. And it's going to help you across pretty much like any type of calls that you're making. Because I mean, I went through this. It was very difficult for me to actually master that. But like now I just don't experience the problems when people are, just kind of hanging up on me, even though sometimes it happens. Okay, I would want you, so we can try to log that in like the format and correct it a little bit. So the first part, perfect. Like you're Sheena from Rosenbaum Realty Group. I was just giving you a call in response to your request for a property management guide from YouTube. Cool. With the question, you want to go a little bit, really a little bit escalated, being like, are your properties long-term rental, short-term rental, or maybe vacation type? So you want to focus on the type first and like try to do it explicitly right now, like not like you would say normally, but like actually, are your properties long-term rental, short-term rental, or like let's try to do this just like to kind of try to reach this like higher note or something. And so just to really style preference, I don't know if like you might think it might help you, but like when I say I was just giving you a call in response to your request for blah blah, I'm like, yeah, I was just giving you a call in response to your request for our guide. I'm like adding this, yeah, I'm starting a little bit higher and then going lower. So you might want to try that. I don't think it's like a, crucial thing. It's just for me, like it feels like it's it's, you know, very light for people when you start higher and then you go lower.
Okay.
So like, hey Alex, hey Alex, this is Sheena from Rosenbaum Realty Group. Yeah, I was just giving you a call in response to your request for our property management guide from YouTube. Are your properties like long-term rental, short-term rental, or maybe vacation type? For some reason, I keep hearing, maybe it's me, but like I hear this long-term rental, short-term rental. Like you want a long-term rental,
Oh,
short-term
okay.
rental. Like you want to focus on the
Okay.
type. Like that's the most important part. That's what we want to. So are your properties, so we locked in properties, long-term rental, short-term rental, because rental is always here, right? But like long-term, short-term, that's the difference that we want to outline with the question. Oh
I'll
yeah,
do
for sure.
better.
Like you're good. You're really good. I like it a lot. And I think it will just help like improve because like do you see the why behind it when I said that are your properties, that's why you make a little micro pause because you want to lock their mind on properties. Then you say long-term rental, you know, short-term rental, or maybe like a vacation type, because you wanna now you wanna go into the type specifically. It's stuff like that, and it just programs the mind to actually think about it when
Yeah.
asked right. Like that's really like the whole thing here. You know, if someone like you catch them on the phone, they requested a guide, they may even like vaguely remember it because they may requested like other stuff before too. They're the owner, they have, you know, like a long-term rental. They're just gonna say it. Yeah, oh, it's I have long-term rental, it's like, you know, this, that. And like you can really add this, you know, small the word like here, which would be like parasite. Are your properties long-term rental or like a short-term rental?
Okay.
And again, you're like uprising at the end, you're curious, you're, you know, that's like what prompts people to actually answer. And then what I would like you to maybe write down below the script or whenever, just for you to know, right? So let's say someone says, no, I don't remember the guide. What you can say and what I would say, just like when I first tried it with you guys here, is and this whole thing with like laughing it off, it's very like, style dependent. If it's not you, then you don't have to do this. But I'm just writing it up here conceptually. I see a while ago you requested one to learn more about the property management process. Were you looking for me to improve something about managing yours? Um, so this question can be better. What I would do generally, like the concept behind it, giving you a call in response to your request for the guide. Are your properties long-term or short-term? Oh, I don't remember the guide. Yeah, no worries. Like I get it real busy. I see a while ago you requested one. Was it that like you were trying to learn more about the property management process, or were you looking to for ways to improve something about managing yours? The concept behind it is to laugh it off, say that, well, this did happen. That's why I called you. And the third thing is ask a question and try to open the conversation again. That's like in the whole sales thing, the concept is always the same. Like you want to, you know, acknowledge, like kind of reframe and like either ask a question or do like just move forward with this. You can tweak it. That's something I wrote down here just for you in case someone says no because some people have said no already. This will help a lot. Like the way I go this is in my own CRM is I have like all the leads, which is the like leads bucket with our CRM, right? Those are like the ones I'm actively reaching out to. I'm calling them just like for example Fred, right? You like feel free to put him back because he didn't give you like anything. He just said no and like you haven't handled it in this particular way. If he still says no, he's not like an owner or something, sure, right? But that's not the point. Again, just to kind of look that in wrong context, disqualify. Not, you know, not an owner, someone who's irrelevant, like those people who are looking to rent, disqualify. We can't do business with them. Someone who just hangs up bedtime, says, you know, I don't look for a property management company. Most people would disqualify those. I personally don't. Countless times when I call this person again in a week, they don't remember that they're in a better mood, they're ready to talk. Like really, like it's up to you. All the rest who you didn't reach, follow up. Then one day you sit down, you have like, 20 minutes of like work time and you don't really have any other tasks. Just make some calls. Like you might get a lead who's going to convert a big transaction with you.
Okay.
Again, just a preference to use follow up more than disqualify. Like disqualify is like a very harsh thing to do with your leads. Generally, like that's how I approach it.